Coach Mack, obviously, Dylan Sampson got some run. What did you make of his performance?
Really impressed with what the young man did on Saturday. You know, the way he pressed the hole, the way his patience was. Dylan, you know, showed all the things that we've been seeing in practice for the most part. I was really impressed with protection. You know, that's one thing we know as a young back he's been consistently working on. He stepped up, he fit the guy up. That's all you can ask for. You know, right now, you know, if he had to be more physical, I think he would have been able to be more physical at the point of attack. But you know, you saw a little bit of what we've been seeing the entire fall camp and the entire basically the season at practice. You know, I'm glad he got a chance to showcase his talents on Saturday.
Austin and then Ben.
You talk about the protection. The last time we really kind of seen him was at LSU when he missed the protection and then almost still made a heck of a play for a first down. How much did you see him kind of come back and go to work in that specific area?
Man, you're talking about character. That's what jumped out at me. You know, the way he prepared, the way he attacked practice, the way he attacked the film room throughout the week. That was most impressive, I thought, what he did. Ever since that LSU game, he's been in the film room more. He's determined not to make that same mistake twice, and that's what you want from any young player. You want them guys to understand how important it is and to grow each and every day from him.
Jerry, Jalen hasn't lost a lot of fumbles this year, but there's a 5-6 game stretch to start the season in which he put the ball on the ground to start the season. Hasn't really done that the last couple of games. What's been the difference there? Has it been just him adjusting to getting hit because he wasn't in fall camp, or has he made an adjustment in how he's carrying the ball?
Well, I think you're spot on. I think, you know, when you go through 20 or so practices in camp and he never was able to go through really a full contact practice where you actually have to squeeze the ball and strain, I think the first few games of the season really caught him off guard. Just that sense of urgency and really the focus of making sure you squeeze the football. Some of those fumbles were just simply not bad ball security from a standpoint of where the ball placement is, but some of those fumbles were just not squeezing the football when you got on the perimeter. Some of it is also trying to do a little too much, try to drain extra yards, when the reality of it, all you have to do is put two hands on the ball and squeeze it and then get what the defense gives you, take what the defense gives you and fall forward for more yards. But as you can see, you know, the last few games, I think he's been doing a pretty decent job, especially last game for the most part. Just making sure he squeezes the ball, making sure we emphasize those certain things in practice. One thing Jalen does a really good job of, every time he takes a rep in practice, he's intentional about trying to do the things that he needs to work on for that upcoming week.
Other questions? Rob?
Coach, South Carolina is what defense when you see what they do well.
Well, right now, you know, a lot of cast of characters from a standpoint of they're rotating a lot of different bodies, whether it be guys earning more playing time or whether it be injuries, whatever the case may be. You can just see a lot of different people, you know, rotating in at the linebacker positions, up front, and at the secondary level. I think one thing they do is they do a good job from the standpoint of pursuit. Those guys fly to the ball. There's always bodies around the ball for the most part. The linebackers are extremely active, sideline to sideline. We're going to have to do a great job of making sure, one, we protect the football, but two, understanding the patience that we're going to have. Those guys are really going to be fast flowing to the ball, and we got to make sure that we do a great job of delivering blocks from the running back position to allow our offensive linemen to get up to those second level.
Patrick, then Adam.
Coach Jabari sort of used limited just a couple of carries at the shoulder flare up. Is that just sort of a game-to-game thing? You hope it doesn't flare up with him, or is that something that he's had to? How does he kind of manage that throughout the season?
I think it's game to game. You know, sometimes, you know, he takes a hit on it that's, you know, unfortunate where he can't finish the game. Last week there was no hits like that. He was able to finish the game and do well. I think one of the things for him is just to continue to develop strength in that shoulder. So we got some things in the training room and also in the strength conditioning program that are helping him gain that strength within that shoulder. So far so good. You know, he sometimes if he doesn't finish, he's right back at practice on that Sunday, Monday, and rehabbing and doing the things he's supposed to be. You know, he's full speed today, no issues, played actually fast today in practice, to be honest with you.
When you guys are subbing running backs during a game, is it purely based on personnel packages? This guy's got to be in for this specific package, or is it more sort of fluid of you're looking when a guy needs to come out or go in? How is that communicated during games when you sub?
I think it's a little bit of both. You know, at times we have certain situations, certain packages where we want certain backs in the game. Whether, you know, we always trying to take advantage of a guy's skill set. You saw in the game, Dylan Sampson called a simple swing screen, a flare screen, and then all of a sudden he's still on the field going through jet motion. That was just one of those situations where he had really good hands and we want to get the young man in space. And then sometimes it's all about the flow. You know, I'm watching those guys and try to gauge exactly when they may need to come off the field, because sometimes they don't want to tell us that they need to blow. So as a coach, it's my job to make sure I'm gauging that on the field.
Last two, Jimmy and Vince.
Coach, South Carolina gave up, I think, 374 yards to Florida rushing. Do you look at that tape and think, hey, these are some things we can incorporate in our game plan?
Well, we always look at, you know, every film and just try to see, you know, what we can take advantage of, you know, as far as what the defense is gonna give us. So those are things we're always gonna look at. You know, obviously, it's not a great day defensively as far as giving up on, yards on the ground for their defense. But you know, they're professionals, they're gonna get those things fixed. So we gotta make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. We gotta make sure that, you know, we're not only looking at that game, but there are other games where they gave up extremely less yards. So we're trying to combine, hey, that was a day performance, it wasn't their day, but there's been other games where they have really stoned the run. So we're just trying to make sure that we do our due diligence and make sure we evaluate all the film to see exactly what plays that we're gonna be able to incorporate.
Sounds like Justin Williams-Thomas had a good spring, but we really haven't seen him as much on the field. Where is he in his development?
Justin's doing well. You know, a young player as far as learning and growing. I think a lot of times when you're a true freshman, you know, especially with a lot of the fans coming out of high school, a lot of these guys think they're going to walk in the door and compete with 20, 21-year-old men. Everybody develops differently. And I think that's one of the big things Justin is learning as he continues to grow. You know, he's on the practice squad. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's still coming over, trying to get better. But sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. Right now, with the growth of Dylan Sampson and the other two, Jalen Wright and Jabari in front of him, it's just hard for him to get on the field and get reps. But I do think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Coach.